we are going to continue with what? Chain rule. In my last video, some people were asking how to differentiate what? X. So given that y is equal to x, if you are differentiating x, it's going to be dy dx is equal to, this is what? X. It has what? An exponent of what? 1 and a coefficient of 1. So it's going to be 1 times 1 is going to be what? 1 by what? X. It has what? A coefficient of what? 1 minus what? The exponent. So I'm going to get 1 times x is what? X. 1 minus 1 is going to be what? 0. Any variable to an exponent of 0 is going to give me what? 1. So the differential of what? X is what? 1. So if you differentiate what? X, you're going to get 1. So chain rule comes to the formula dy dx is equal to dy du times what? Du dx. So giving an example, y is equal to 6 plus x all squared. So y is equal to 6 plus what? X all squared. So firstly, let this whole variable or this whole equation be what? U. So let u is equal to what? 6 plus what? X. So thereby, change the u, that's what we are what? We are finding the with respect to what? X. We are finding what? U with respect to x. So it's going to be what? Du what? Dx. So therefore, if you differentiate 6, what are you going to get? Because 6 has no variable, if you differentiate 6, it's what? 0. So a number with no variable, when you differentiate that number, is going to be what? 0. So you're going to get is equal to what? 0 plus. If you differentiate x, what are you going to get? You're going to get what? 1. So therefore, du dx is equal to what? 1. So we've gotten what? Our du dx. So we want what? Our dy what? Du. So y is equal to, note that we what? We took all of this and what? Made it what? U. We represented this with what? U. So therefore, u is equal to what? Everything here. So it's going to be y is equal to u. And u has what? S squared. So y is equal to what? U squared. So we are differentiating what? Y with respect to u. What is going to be? It's going to be what? Dy du. We are going to get what? Dy du. It's equal to, we have what? U to the power 2. So if we differentiate u to the power 2, you are going to multiply 2 by the coefficient of u. I'm going to get 2u, 2 minus what? 1. So therefore, dy du is equal to what? 2u. So we've got our dy du. So putting both of them in the formula, you're going to get what? Dy dx is equal to what? Dy dx du is what? 2u. 2u. Multiplying what? Du dx what? 1. Therefore, dy dx is equal to what? 2. But u in the equation was giving us what? 6 plus what? X. So therefore, dy dx is going to be what? 2 into bracket what? 6 plus what? X. So this is going to be what? The final answer.
It was time for us to solve what this question under our chain rule. So we said that chain rule's formula is what? Dy dx is equal to what? Dy du by what? Du dx. So given this question, y is equal to what? 12 plus 2x squared with what? 3, with an exponent of 3. So let the one in what? The bracket is equal to what? So let u equals what? 12 plus 2x squared. So we are finding u with respect to what? X. So that would be what? Du dx is equal to what? When you differentiate what? A number with no what is what? 0. A number with no variable is what? 0. 0 plus. this is 2x squared. So when you differentiate 2x squared, you are going to multiply with what? The coefficient of x. That's what? 2. So 2 times 2 is what? 4. You bring your x and you deduct 1 from what? The exponent. So 2 minus what? 1. That's going to give you what? 1. So you're going to get du dx is equal to what? 4x. So afterwards, note that y is equal to what? U cube, because all this what was represented by what? U. So therefore y is equal to what? U cube. So let's differentiate y with respect to what? U. So therefore it's going to be dy du is equal to what? U cube. So we are going to differentiate the u cube. So dy du is equal to 3 times what? The coefficient of u is what? 1. So 3 times 1 is going to give you what? 3. You bring your u. You deduct 1 from what? The exponent. So 3 minus 1 is going to give you what? 2. So you're going to get 3u to the power 2. So you're going to place it in what? The formula. Dy dx is equal to dy du. You got what? 3u what? Squared. So 3u squared times du dx, you got what? 4x times what? 4x. So therefore, this is going to be 3 times 4 is going to give you what? 12. So you're going to get 12x u squared. But u was equal to what? 12 plus what? 2x squared. So therefore, dy dx is going to be 12x to bracket 12 plus what? 2x squared to the power 2. So this brings us to the what? The end of chain rule. So let's go to what? Product rule. See you in my next video.